All right, so day 5, which is day 2 of swim training. Yesterday was recovery day. My quads are still burning from the run the other night. But went to the physical therapist this morning, and she basically cleared me for as much swimming as I wanted to do. And on run night, we'll talk about what I got to do with the run stuff, she said. But tonight, let's keep it to swimming, okay? So let's just talk about swimming. I did 200 yards last time. And I would describe my technique last time as a walrus that was pretending to be a human. A walrus, when it swims like a walrus, is pretty graceful and powerful and orchestrated. A walrus that would pretend to be a human would best describe, a walrus swimming as a human is probably not the most suave. So that was me the other night. So come on, Job, stay here, baby. Hup, hup, close, boundary. So tonight I went in with a little bit of training. I watch YouTube videos, right? That's what we all do. We watch YouTube videos and then we go replicate stuff. So I watched the cupping videos and the breathing videos and tried to wrap my mind around what that's going to look and feel like in the water. And I got to tell you, I did better. Not ready for the Olympics yet. That's next week. But tonight, I would say that instead of a walrus pretending to be a human, I just look like a really old, out-of-shape, fat human, probably pretending to be a walrus. So that's what I look like tonight. I guess that's going in the right direction. But I don't swim as well as Job. Labrador retrievers are natural swimmers. Motorcycle racers are not. So I got a lot more technique to get down. But I was able to do a complete 25-yard lane while turning my head and getting enough air in and making the whole lane. When I started the other day, I'd make the first 12 and a half yards, the first half a lane, just off of the air in my lungs. But then, but I couldn't breathe enough. I couldn't get enough air. My technique was way wrong. And I couldn't even do 25 yards. I had to stop and side stroke the rest of a lane. And with that improper, horrid technique, I muscled out 200 yards just to feel like I did 200 yards in the pool. Tonight, I made it with my YouTube training and my cupping and my stroking and my breathing. I made it all the way down and then had to stop and take a breath. But I never stopped and had to side stroke in the middle of a lane. So that's progress. I found the best kid that knew how to swim naturally in the freestyle stroke. And I walked up to him and I said, "Hey man, can I ask you a question?" And he's a smart kid. He said, "You're not going to ask me to pet your puppy, are you?" I said, "No, I'm not going to let you pet my dog. But I am going to just ask you a question about swimming, here in the presence of everybody else, if that's cool." He said, "Yeah, I guess that's cool." He knew not to talk to strangers and all that. I mean, he was a kid. And I said, "How do you get enough air when you turn your head?" And he goes, "I don't know, man." He says, I don't know. Let me watch you swim." And I was like, yeah, this kid's pretty smart. Go get a stick. Where's your toy? Where's your toy? So he watched me swim. I did a lane. And this kid, I don't know what he was, young. I don't even want to throw out an age. 9, okay? He watched me and he comes running down the other end of the pool, and I was down there gasping for air like a human walrus, And he said, "Hey man," he said, "when you turn your head to breathe, you got to keep your head out longer." I said, "You mean like I'm swimming like this and then I'll turn my head too fast?" He said, "Yeah, man, you look scared and you're rushing everything, and when you flip your head, you're not getting any air, dude. You gotta breathe out cool and turn your head and get air, and then bring your head back." And I thought, oh man, I took calculus in college, professional motorcycle racer, I'm not the worst thinker on earth, why didn't I think of this? But it took this 9-year-old to watch my blubberness and comment on the fact that I was gasping for air because my swim technique was so bad that I didn't have enough time to get my head out of the water and breathe. So after thinking about what he told me, I slowed down with the arms, maintained my cupping, you know, YouTube training and all that. And I made sure when I turned my head, I exhaled at the last second and got an actual breath of air before I went back down. And oh my goodness, did you know if you actually get enough air, if you're actually breathing, you can do sports in a more efficient fashion? You can even swim better. So I was getting the air that I needed to stroke the pool. So I can't go down and back without stopping and taking a rest. That's probably just because I'm fat and out of shape. But I can breathe long enough to make a lane. And that's a marked improvement over session number 1. And I got to 275 yards, which is, come on, Job, up! Which is 75, Job, up, boundary. I'm gonna run after that dog in a minute. I made 275 yards, which is 75 more than I muscled out the other night, but it was easier because I was actually propelling myself and breathing. So the 275 I did tonight was easier than before. The only reason I stopped, here's the bad news. I got a little tired at the end of one of the lanes, and I was coming up on the wall, and I was getting lazy because I knew I was coming up on the wall, and I kind of, you know, half-stepped it, or, you know, in motorcycle racing, we call it braking early and turning in too soon kind of thing. And I just got lazy and broke early and turned in too soon in the pool, which means I wasn't quite at the wall when I put my arms up. And I had to do the little tread thing. You know, I wasn't panicked. I can tread water. I wasn't scared or anything, but my body made an unnatural motion. And in the process of that unnatural motion, think of it, if I could describe it, as stepping off a curb the wrong way, your foot going sideways. Think of it like that, but in the pool. And when my body made this unnatural motion of converting from not being far enough, close enough to the wall, swimming far enough, to treading water, I popped my knee, my bad one. And right down the medial meniscus, down in here, see where the light is, right in this side of the inside of this knee. And there's ligaments or whatever those parts are in there that make all that work. I popped it. I felt it move, I felt it pop, and I felt the pain. So I grabbed onto the side of the wall, and I thought, oh my gosh, I just hurt myself again. Because, you know, when I was down at the gym the other day, I tore something, or 2 weeks ago, I tore something so bad, I vasovagaled out, knocked me out. And that's how I got my black eye and smashed my skull in the concrete and bled everywhere. So I panicked, and I thought, well, I didn't panic. I got really concerned that, man, I might have hurt myself again, you know. So I just didn't do anything. I just sat there and moved my leg like this, just in the pool, just a little bit at a time. And I thought, okay, I feel my toes, I have all my nerve endings, it moves, it works. It doesn't hurt right now. It just like hurt when I popped it, but it doesn't hurt right now. So I crawled out of the pool on my left leg, kept my right one straight, went down to the hot spa, sauna tub thing, and let the warm bubbles blow all over my leg, and just sat there and tried to calm down and just realize, you know, I asked for this. My doctor told me to do nothing for 2 months. And then I verbally beat her up a little bit, and she backed up and said, okay, well, you can ride a bicycle around the block a little bit. And, you know, I did her exercises, beat her up a little bit more. And she said, okay, well, you can ride your motorcycle if you sit straight up and down and don't do all the knee dragging thing. So then I went out and won 3 for 3 a couple weeks ago. So every time she tells me to only do this, of course, I'm a male walrus human idiot, so I have to go and do more than I'm supposed to. So it really scared me when it popped. It really, really scared me when that ligament, cartilage, joint, knuckle thing, whatever it is in there, moved and scared me. and it hurt when it happened. But right now, I walked out of the pool and there's no pain right now. So I thought, okay, can I do 25 more yards and hit 300 for tonight? That's 100 more than I did last time. I did 200 last time. I thought, you know what? My technique improved. You know, I went from human walrus to overweight old human. So that's an improvement. And I don't think I seriously injured myself. I think maybe I just might have set myself back a few days because it hurt when I did it, but it doesn't hurt now. I'm going to go ice it up. I did swim farther than I swam before, and I did swim with better technique than I did before. So I'm calling tonight a victory, provisionally, provided I'm not hurt. If I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and my knee's as big as a watermelon, then tonight will be an utter failure. I'm up in the air on how today went, but I swam farther, swam better. As I stand here right now, I feel okay. I'm trepidatious. I'm nervous about being hurt because it was so god-awful painful when I couldn't walk for a month. And I mean, it knocked me out when I was in the shower. It hurt so bad. It's worse than the kidney stones I had. Literally worse than when I had my kidney stones. So I'm emotionally very afraid of ever going through that again. But right now I'm okay. So thanks for hanging with us, and I'm gonna go get some ice on this knee and feed the dog.